I'm going to be doing a little series like this when I'm talking in my car to you guys about different topics, weight loss or otherwise, probably once a week. So let me know what kind of topics you guys want to see down below. So yeah, let's get into this topic. Hey guys, so today's video, let me back up a little bit. So today's video is going to be a like talking video. I told you guys in my last video that I was going to be having like little sit down videos like this one in my car. It just gives me like extra time to film while I'm waiting for my job to begin. So today's video is going to be a quick video on being a side chick. So about 6 months ago I met this guy and he was really nice, and we began texting and stuff, and then we started hanging out, and it was never like, oh yeah, we're on a date or anything. It was just like us hanging out, and we'd talk about everything. We talk about movies, food, video games, sex, and not sex as in like, I don't know how to explain it. We'd have talks not about sex but about sex. I don't know how to explain it, but he was curious about me being a virgin, so like we'd have conversations like about that, like why I'm a virgin and how and all that stuff. We talked about weight because he worked out, so it was really cool. And something happened, and I just like, I investigate things all the time. So like I have a PhD in lurking 101. Like I know how to find anything about any guy out. Like I can literally find out anything. So I was like, you know what, something is off. So I couldn't find anything on him, and I can literally find out anything. You can ask any of my friends. I can find out their Instagrams, Twitters, their ex-girlfriends, their whatever. Just because I like to make sure that I'm not getting into a situation that I don't want to be in. So I like to know all the facts. And of course a guy is not going to tell you all the facts. So he's not like, a guy's not going to tell you that he has a girlfriend. So I started investigating and I wasn't finding anything out. So then I was like, you know what, that's a little weird. So then I started investigating more, nothing. So then I found out his Snapchat name, because he told me. So then I typed his Snapchat name into Google, and all of his things were similarly named. So his Instagram, his Twitter, all that was like named the same. So I found all of them. So I would click on the links to them, and they would be locked up tight, like super private, super locked up. And I was like, why is it so locked up? And his name wasn't on anything, so I felt a little weird. So then I told my friend, hey, add him on Instagram. So she added him, and then he added her back, like as if like he wanted to see her profile before she could see his. So I was like, crap, I can't do that. So then I was thinking, and I was like, what am I gonna do? And then I saw in his Instagram bio that there was a girl's name and like a ring next to it. And I was like, So I let it go for a little bit longer. And then I was like, no, something just does not feel right. So I started searching more. And then I found his old Tumblr page. Like he hadn't used it since like 2012. So I started like searching on his Tumblr page, and I went back like pages and pages and pages. And then I found his email, but it was like his last name. So I was like, okay. So then I wrote down his last name, so I remembered it, which it wasn't the last name that he told me. And then after that, I typed in Google his @ name. Like I put an @ in front of his Instagram name and then his Instagram name, because when you do that, you can see the comments that like people leave for each other. I'll post an example here so you can see what I'm talking about. So you can see like comments that they posted on other people's pictures and comments to them. And in one of those comments, somebody said his name. So they're like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, well now I have his first name, which isn't the name that he gave me. And now I have his last name, which isn't the last name that he gave me when we met. So then I went on Facebook to see if he had a Facebook, and I typed it in, and lo and behold, when I typed in his first and last name, guess what I saw? There was a picture of him and his wife on their wedding day. And I was like, you're married? And he told me that he wasn't married, he didn't have any kids, that he was super single, that he lived on his own, and that he was 25 and all this stuff. And I was like, okay, no, you're married. And then I looked on the girl's page, and like she was pregnant, and I was like, so you're married and your wife is pregnant, and you haven't even been married a year yet, and you're like already like trying to cheat, you know? Like it's weird. And it's because like he had a Tinder. So like you have a Tinder but you're married? Like I'm so confused. So at first I was gonna send his wife screenshots of like all of his like profiles, but then I was like, you know what, people are crazy and I don't want him coming after me, like, you know, because I like, so I was like, okay, well, I didn't know how to approach the situation, so we were supposed to hang out that day. So I hung out with him, and I noticed that he had a T on his shoulder, and he told me that his name was Xavier, and that wasn't his name. And then the T actually stood for his real name. I'm not gonna say his real name because, yeah, I'm not gonna say it. But so I was like, oh, like, what's that T stand for? And then he looked at it and he was like, oh, my mom's name. And the T was super like masculine, like it had flames on it and stuff. And I'm like, oh. So I didn't tell him that I knew like in person, because I was like, yo, I don't want him to know that I know that he's been lying to me all this time, that he has a wife, that he has a baby on the way, you know, all this stuff like in person, because I don't know what he's gonna do. So then I went home, and then I called him by his real name, like via text, and he didn't even notice that I called him by his real name and that he had told me a totally different name. And then I was like, do you realize I just called you by your first name? He was like, wait, how do you know? And then I was like, I mean, that doesn't matter. Like, you lied to me. You have a wife. You have a baby on the way. Like, I'm confused. And he, like, went off. Like, he was like, how do you know? Who told you? How did you find this information out? Like, and he was just, like, going in. And I was like, that doesn't matter. Like, you're married, dude. Why are you, like, actively, like, on dating sites, like, trying to cheat on your wife? Like, and you haven't even been married a year, you know? And it was just really crazy. So that's like my story about like almost being a side chick. Yeah, that would have been crazy. And see, that's why, like, if you have an intuition about something and someone that it's not right, definitely follow your gut feeling, because it's probably not right. It's really, really probably not right. Every time I have like a gut feeling about someone, it's always right. I have so many stories about like men from like Tinder, or like people that I meet like at school, and I'm like, something doesn't feel right. And then I find out that they have a girlfriend or something, but they're trying to talk to me. Like, what? So many guys don't respect their relationships now. It's really, really sad. I've come across several men, upward of 5 that I've met like casually, and they've asked to take me out on dates, but after I do my investigation, I found out they have a girlfriend. Do your lurking 101. I'm gonna do a video on that too, like on how to lurk and how to find information out, because it's very important. So you don't want to be a side chick. Like, a side chick is not a position that I am willing to play. Like, that's disrespectful to your girlfriend, disrespectful to me. Like, don't do it. That's my experience with almost being a side chick. That would have been tragic, but I followed my intuition and my gut feeling, and I found out. So whatever. And I mean, like, he didn't cheat on his wife because of the fact that when we hung out, we never kissed or anything. Like, it was just like, oh, a hug. But who knows how many other people he met from Tinder and like actually hooked up with. So he could have cheated on his wife, but I mean, with me, does that count as cheating on his wife? Like, if we just like hung out casually, even though he told me he was single, we never kissed or anything, just like hugged. Does that count as cheating? I don't know. But yeah, and his wife right now still has no idea. I was like, yo, you need to figure out what you want to do, and don't disrespect your wife like that. Like, that's very rude. You just got married. Like, who does that? So yeah, that's very disrespectful. And he's lucky that I'm not the type of woman to be like, I'm going straight to your wife. I just felt like it wasn't my place to like totally, you know, insert myself in their world. So I just like, yo, I'm backing off. Like, I'm done. Leave me out of what you got going on. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this topic video. Let me know your side chick stories if you have any like stories on being a side chick. I know I wasn't a side chick per se because we never kissed or, you know, anything like that, but I could have been one if I didn't do my research, because I did like him. I thought that he was very nice and sweet, well behaved. So, you know, tell me what other kind of videos you guys want me to do in these little car talk series, because I am turning this into a actual thing. And that's pretty much it for this video. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff. Yeah, like I said, let me know your side chick stories down below if you have any. Let me know what kind of videos you want to see me talk about in this little car talk series, and I guess I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. I'm weird, and this is why I don't have a boyfriend, because I do stuff like this with the camera.